On this recording, I'm going to discuss phobias and what kind of phobias that went on in my mind, or tried to occur in my mind, um, and the way that the approaches came about. I still think they're external in nature, but the mind could play a trick on itself. Um, the first approach, when you're schizophrenic or paranoid schizophrenic, that I had was countdown to destruction. Um, Basically, to boil that down, is you think you're gonna die. You don't know when, but your body or your mind thinks it's gonna, you know, die at a certain time. Terminate. Like maybe it could be AIDS or a bomb in your head or implant. Who knows? Um, Another approach that I call circles. Um, Circles is kind of complex. What it is, it's a resolution problem stack. The way I want to call it. Basically, you have a problem, you solve it. You have another problem, you solve it. You have another problem, you solve it. Until it becomes this big resolution, and then all of a sudden it turns back on you, and then it caves in on you. I wish I had an explanation on that. Sort of like, um, you know, you solve one little problem in your head, and then you solve, and it's encased on another problem, sort of like a onion layer. And then you unravel all these onion layers, and then the last layer turns back on you, and it causes, this big thing that, feels like a ton of bricks is coming down on you. Another thing is racial. Racial meaning if you're a certain race, and you think people are coming after you and they're going to do stuff to you, but, it's all in your mind. It's auditory illusions, right? So, and then I go and turn around, and what else do we got here? Okay, I wrote this stuff down finally. Fantasy. Uh, I kind of play fantasy games and stuff, so I kind of fell victim almost. There was one where I thought there were pixies all over the place, or blowing kisses and all that stuff, and thought that they liked me and da 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 da. So, but I didn't fall for it. Um, because, kind of like a fantasy thing, right? Another thing is alien contact. Um, this type of illusion, alien contact, would be, of course, if you are kind of schizophrenic, you may want to, like me, you may believe this, where you're being contacted from an alien being that's trying to psychically contact you, and, you can fall prey to that, which is not true. And then, what else? What other approach happened to me? This is all stuff that happened firsthand to me. Religious, religion approach. The devil's gonna take your soul, or you're being accused of sodomy, or stuff like that. Just crap, right? Um, Another thing is embarrassment. Yeah, they bring out all the skeletons out of your closet. Not they, but your mind, I guess, or this external influence brings all the skeletons out of your closet, and you know, brings them out, and you do this, you do that, you have bad behavior, and this and that, you do this, and it's supposed to make you scared. Another thing is called the false accusation tower. I call it that because it kind of goes in with the skeleton in the closet approach, where they take all these bad accusations or all these bad flaws that you did, and they tower it. They have all these accusations and they tower it like if it's a like if it's a court hearing of some type or a court session, and they stack up all these accusations, and then they accuse you of all that. Well, one way to break your mind out of that is tell yourself there's things called civil and criminal cases, and they can't add them all together at the same time. And of course, I never did these things, but still, the accusations are false. So, there's civil cases and there's criminal cases, and they can't add them all together in one court case. Another approach is a smackdown approach. This one kind of hurts me because I used to work kind of under the Department of Energy and UNLV, working on a medical records project. The medical records project was supposed to be, we make a form, or we don't make a form, sorry. It was, let me get out my thoughts. It's a long ways back. It was supposed to be for computer recognition. So the computer was supposed to recognize handwriting and convert it into text. Of course, I thought it was kind of far-fetched, so, and this was under the Department of Energy, which I didn't know. So what my problem was I was working on an algorithm to, it was a threshold algorithm, and, I couldn't solve it. So, if you listen to previous recordings, things happen. I quit that school. Well, this year I had this, delusion, I guess if you want to call it, where, they were working on this thing, and, they only had 3 months to get it solved, which, I calculated, and it was in May. So, they're trying to, and they said it was a quantum physics problem. And of course, it goes way over my head, right? So I'm supposed to be intimidated by it. So, I know how to solve it. So I approached it, and I tried to solve it, and then I kept on getting voices that said, go back to your bubble sort, go back to here, trying to smack me down. Smackdown approach, It's like, I know how to solve it, but they try to smack me down, and they try to deter me from actually solving it. Trying to cause a lot of grief and anger and that kind of thing. So I went down and I slept it off. Those are various approaches that I got. Being schizophrenic, I guess, to these phobias that are supposed to be approaches to phobias that are psychosis or whatever. Now, just to say, out there, please approach this with a open mind. I know it's kind of hard to understand, schizophrenia, and a lot of people are turned off about that. It is like a conflict in your mind that, these auditory illusions try to, get at you. That's called paranoid schizophrenia. But hopefully it's educational, because I want to kind of share my experience out with the world, and hopefully it'll help people actually cope with their problems without, resorting back to drugs. Nutrition is a little important, though. You may want to stay away from the sugars, from wheat, from starches. Just try to keep yourself in, a good general health. But, I'm not a doctor, so I can't really say that. And,